everyone, myself Lajja Shah and I welcome you all on Khabarchhe, Belgium. Today on the occasion of Women's Day, I have a very inspiring story and an inspirational personality with me. But before knowing who is she, I would like to say something about Women's Day. What is Women's Day? The exact time when it grew, if I go in the past, it grew when there were 15,000 ladies who marched through New York for better pay, demanding their better pay, shorter hours, and most importantly, a right to vote. This is the time when actually International Women's Day grew. This is a short story, though it's a long story, but I will cut it down to the short. And I would just like to say to all the women out there, don't stop yourself, raise your voice for what you deserve. What is your right, you should better know. And most importantly, don't forget to celebrate yourself. So today, coming back to our guest, our strong personality, she is a criminologist, a former federal police commissioner, a lady who was born in India, Calcutta, and today she is a deputy mayor of city Antwerp. Facing all the odds, still standing strong and achieving all the things which we all dream of. Let's welcome today the Deputy Mayor of City Antwerp, Jeannie Bells at Khabarchhe, Belgium. Alright, so very first, thank you for giving us your precious time.
It's my pleasure.
And joining me. And very first, I want to know about your journey from the beginning to this prestigious position. I'm sure you must have faced a lot of hurdles, challenges, maybe I would say because of women or in general, but I'm sure you must have faced it. So I really want to know that first.
I was 3 years old when my mother died. She was murdered, and I was born in Calcutta, by the way, in India. So I lived the first 6 years of my life I spent in India. And then because of my mother died, my dad is Belgian. It took him almost 3 years to come and get me and to move to Belgium because of the visa and because he had to prove that I was his daughter, etc. It was a real nightmare for me to leave everything behind and to come here and to live in Belgium, in Antwerp.
Okay.
And I remember that we took the plane and then we landed in London, then we took the train and to Dover and then the boat to, I think, Zeebrugge, and then they got us by car. And finally we arrived in Antwerp, and the city was so quiet.
Yes.
There was nobody in the streets. So much trees and everything green, and you could eat from the streets, you know. It was a total different planet for me.
Yes.
And I was so sad, and I cried every night during, I think, the first 6 months. Because of the fact I didn't know anybody in this city. I didn't speak the language, so I didn't understand what they were telling me. My grandmother told me afterwards, it took me 2 months to learn Dutch and French. But it took me also 2 months to forget the language I was raised in. So, you know, it's, as you put it, it were big challenges for a 6-year-old girl.
100%.
Yes.
100%. I can see that big change for you. Like you said, a different planet.
Yes.
It is so true. When we also come here first, we feel the same. It is so quiet, a different planet, different language. And that's why when I see you to this position where we all struggle to live in this in this society, in this city, to do something, and that's why, you know, it's you.
But if you had told me when I was a 6-year-old girl Once upon a time, you will become the vice mayor of education and youth in the biggest city of Flanders, Belgium. I would have laughed at you, you know. But here we are.
Exactly.
So it went well for me, and that doesn't mean that it wasn't hard to get there.
100%.
And it's been a struggle every day of my life. And I don't think about it as it's something bad or negative, you know.
Yes.
It's just the way it is. And I feel blessed because I had the chance. I had a father who wanted to take care of me, and he took me here. And in the beginning I was very sad, and all I wanted to do is to go back to my family in Calcutta. But afterwards, when I'm looking back at all those years, I'm very grateful my dad had the courage to do that. Because I think it was not easy for him neither.
I'm sure.
To raise a girl who didn't know him.
I'm sure.
I was very angry at him. The first 6 years of my life, I was very, very angry at my father. Yes, I remember
Sure.
that. Yeah.
And I heard you saying once that you were going in some school, and the teacher was a real that helped you to get into the society, and I heard that. So I remember that. And what do you
Yes.
say about that?
She was my lifeline because I arrived in 1983 in June. It was beautiful weather. I remember it was very hot. And I went to school the 1st of September. And that's when I met my teacher, Juf Emma. And she was my lifeline because she gave me the time and she gave me the courage to be who I was, who I wanted to be. I didn't speak the language that well enough.
Sure.
I could understand, but speaking, it was a challenge. There were kids in my class who were laughing at me because I didn't know the words for tree and flower and house, etc. And she was the one who stood up for me. And because it's... Sorry.
No, take your time.
You know, I mean, I think of her, what she did for me, it was... Sorry.
Take your time. Just have some water. It's okay.
She was great. She was the mother I lost, and she meant the world for me. And I'm sorry. You know, I had the chance to meet her again. I think a few years ago on the boat for a television program, and yeah, she's very old now. I mean, she's very old. She's 85 years old, and she's not in very good health, but when they invited her to meet me again, she didn't hesitate.
But she must be very proud of you today.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I will see her again in a few weeks. Every year I go to her 2-3 times a year to talk about me, because she's so full of pride, and she reads everything in the newspaper. She looks at every program on television. So yes, she's an incredible woman.
I can see how much she must have helped you.
Yes.
And you are here today, you're talking about her and getting emotional. There's nothing else but, you know, the love that she has
Yes.
given you.
Yes.
And I'm sure you must be thinking that she's so much responsible for what you are today here.
She's one of those greatest women I met in my life, and who I am today, it's for a great part because of her. Yes. And I'm very, very grateful. She knows that. But when I think of her and I think of the little girl I was, then I think it was that I'm blessed to have had someone as Juf Emma in my life. Because otherwise I don't know what I would have become. You know, I was a very angry child inside of me.
Yeah.
I was very silent and I didn't talk much when I was at school in the beginning. But it was because of her that I changed and that I began to live again. You know, I had a second life.
100%.
So,
that's why I remember this.
Yeah.
You mentioned particularly this thing, and I had that in my mind that you said this, and it is so true. When you are at a new place, completely you feel lost, but when you have someone to hold your hand,
Yeah.
you are, you know, you got your way, and you are, I mean, very thankful, grateful for that.
Yeah, I was devastated when I had to go from the first, how do we say it, the first primary
To
the second.
Yes,
I was
yes.
devastated. I didn't want to go. And it was like losing my mother all over again. So that's the reason why I was so... It was in the same school, you know?
Yeah.
Because she comforted me and she told me, I'm not that far, I'm next to your classroom.
Yeah.
But for a child of my young age, they took everything away from me. So it was all over again.
Again, I
Yes.
know.
Yes.
And you look up to her whenever you have something.
Yes.
You look up to her that she is there and she will be there with me. And then
Yes.
again to go to, you know.
So it was a very, very important person in my life, and I'm very grateful that I can see her now. It took almost, I was 6 years old, and I met her 3 years ago, I think, 4 years ago. So there's a lifetime in between.
I know. But it's good that you have at least someone. There are people who
Yeah.
don't have anyone and they remain lost.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's good that you have it. You had that person and you moved forward thinking. So I think when I had a second question, which motivated you or which, you know, motivated you to stay in Belgium the most, I think this is the, like, you know, what you say that your teacher helped you, like when you see her and
Yes, it was my teacher, but also the mother of my father, my second grandmother, was a very strong woman. And she also played a very important part in my life.
okay.
She had a very difficult life. She had 11 kids, and she divorced her husband when it was not that easy to do so for society. I think it was when my father was 2, 3, 4 years old. She had the courage to do that, and she was alone with 11 children. You know, it's not that easy to survive. So I learned from my grandmother to never give up, because there are many people who are in worse circumstances.
Yes, 100%.
It can always be worse than the life you are leading.
100%.
And that's what she taught me.
That's very
No
good.
pity, and just go and just do it.
Oh, that's a very good statement.
Yeah.
No pity, just do it.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah.
I think this is so important for each and every woman in the world, that just don't think about anything else, but just what you want to do it, just do
Yep.
it. And that's
Just
what
take
you
the
did,
opportunity and make something of your life. How difficult it can be. It's no excuse
yeah. Yes.
for sitting back and whining. You have a life. You have to be grateful for that life. You have opportunities. You meet a lot of interesting people, because it's not only my teacher and my grandmother.
Yeah,
I met
of
a
course.
lot of women in my life,
Yes,
and
of
men
Of
who were very helpful, and I'm very grateful for. So being who I am today is due to all those people.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I also know that you were a formal commissioner.
Yes,
of
yes,
Federal
I was
Police.
for almost 20 years.
Yes, so like I know it's a strong work, very strong job. Being a woman, how was it for you? Like, was it difficult, or how did you deal with everything? It is something very strong.
Yes, it was not easy, because I was one of the 5 women in my class of almost, I think, 15. So you had 10 men and 5 women. It was not easy, because physically we are not the same as men.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's an issue, because
Exactly.
it's biologically a fact. But we had to do the same physical tests as the men. And first, I'm very proud to say I did the same exams physically as my male officers. But if you think about it, it's not fair because women, biologically, physically, are not that strong as men. So,
yes.
if we are talking about equality, I think there should be a difference between the proof or the exams for men officers and women officers.
Yes.
But if I didn't had done the same exams, I would have to hear all my life that they gave it to me and I didn't earn being a police officer. You know, it's a struggle, I think, of every minority in the population, women, if you are from another different origin, that things you achieve, it's not your achievement, but because society gave it to you.
100%.
And that is something I dislike very much, because it means that who I am today is not because I'm good in what I'm doing, but because I'm a woman, I'm an Indian woman, and that's not true. You know, you have to judge people on their qualities.
Of course.
Not on their gender and race and religion and political beliefs, etc.
That's very true. And what you said, that, you know, you had to do everything what man had to do for the exams, and it's not like, you know, it's not same thing.
No.
But you did it, and
I was very proud of it, you know.
Exactly. You were saying that you are proud of it. So today, when you're sitting here and you're saying, "Okay, I'm proud of it," so that's the feeling that I think each and every, not only woman, but each and every person should have it in future. That, okay, I did this and I'm very proud of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So when I hear it from you, even I get that thing that, oh no, I should do certain things. Which is very difficult for me, but then you get that feeling.
Yes, and you know, you can fail 1,000 times. You have to fail 1,000 times to succeed 1,001. You know, people can't be angry for failing. That's what we have to tell our youngsters. You can and you must fail because you have to learn from the failings.
Of course.
And then you succeed. Life is not that easy that everything you do, it will succeed from the first time.
100%.
But that's a difficulty, you know, because if you don't succeed, they look, how do we say it? They think you're weak because you don't succeed.
Yeah.
And if you succeed, then you have to hear, well, that's because you're a woman, you know.
Lucky or something.
Yes, because they like you, you're a woman or you're a minority. That's why you succeeded. So whatever you are doing, it's not because of you.
Yeah.
And that's a struggle of my entire life. Not only my struggle, you know, struggle of lots of people.
Yeah.
But that's not easy, because there are moments in my life that I'm thinking, what am I doing anyway?
Yeah.
For who am I doing this?
I'm sure.
I'm making it hard for me. Why I'm doing this? And then, you know, every day I find one reason to quit. And then I find 10 to move on. And that's because of the people in my life, like my grandmothers, like my mother, like my teacher, who taught me to never, never give up.
That's a very good thing.
But it's not easy. I'm not Wonder Woman, and I don't have to be.
Yeah.
I can show my weakness, but it's not that easy to show my weakness. You know, I was crying in the beginning. I don't cry that much. I don't cry that much at all. And sometimes I think we should cry
100%,
more.
I believe.
Yes, because it shows the weakness and the humanity in us.
Exactly.
And we need it. We need it.
And I'm sure the place that you are sitting at, you must have seen so many things in your life where you must have cried your heart out, and where you must have felt that what is this going on,
Mm-hmm.
and where you must have felt that I just want to give up, I want to quit, I just don't want to do this. So I can I can imagine that thing because I'm sure you must have seen so many things like that. And then coming to this place when you feel that, it's fine to show our weaknesses. But I'm sure that moment must have come that, no, I want to quit. I just want to give up. I want to quit. What was that key for you at that? I'm sure it must have come many times. And what would be that key, one key for you that kept you moving?
Because I want my mother to be proud. I lost her when I was 3 years old and she was my everything. But also because I'm just grateful for all the opportunities I received. I have a good life. It's not an easy life, but I have a good life.
When you have a good life, it's never easy.
And then I'm thinking about all the children and women in India who were left there
100%.
without the opportunities that I
100%.
had, and that's just gratefulness. And it's my way of thanking God for the life He gave me.
So you are always grateful for what you
yes,
have.
Just I think it's my duty to move on.
Yes, and that is the always thing, that to move on, it's like you have to do it, whatever is the situation.
Yes, yeah.
So related to that, like when you said Indian, there are many people who don't get the opportunities. So for that I have a question. I am from Indian community. I am here since now 8 years or something. I have, like, what I want to do, I do it. But I've heard many women from, I would say women, female, all women, new girls coming after marriage, just leaving everything in India and completely different place, completely different people, new culture for us. I have heard, I would say 90% of women in our community, Indian community, saying you can't do anything in Belgium. You can't work, you cannot go, they will not accept you, and they will not be positive to you just because you are Indian. Or I would say maybe there are language barriers for them. I would say, I wouldn't deny that fact, which even I had at some point. But I overcome that thing. But there are women, and then after some point, after facing a lot of challenges, hurdles, they give up. And they just have that pessimistic thought for Belgium, which I never liked. But you would say some, like, for them you have a special, like, message or something which motivates them. Because you yourself is a motivational personality, but you have...
I think it's a burden to be a role model, because it sounds like everybody can achieve what I achieved, and that would not be fair to all those people, because you don't have to achieve what I achieved. You just have to do something with your life. That's all. You can be happy with less than I can be happy with. I'm me, you are you. But to this woman, I will tell them, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So you have to believe that change is possible. And even it's not easy for a colored person in Antwerp, in Flanders, in Belgium, in the entire Western world. I don't think it's enough to give up.
Of course.
Because I was taught to never give up. And to prove everybody wrong. Nobody believed in my capabilities, because if I had listened to a lot of people, I wouldn't be here today as a vice mayor of education and youth. I had to prove myself twice as hard as somebody else. But instead of feeling pity for me and giving up, I'm always thinking, you think I can't? Well, I will prove you wrong. Yes, you can. That's what Barack Obama told us years ago, and I believe in that. So language can be a burden, certain. It's not easy. If you want to make a life in a city, in a country where you don't speak the language, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult. But you have to mingle also. You have to want to know Antwerp and Belgium or the other countries where you live. You have to know the people, the challenges. So it's also the responsibility of the individual. It's not always a society who is wrong and not easy to live in. It's also who us, yes.
Yes. So whenever I meet any of my friend and talking about it, or when they tell me that no, it's not possible, I had many such experiences that no, it's not possible, but I was never ready to believe or never ready to accept it,
yes.
that
yes.
I cannot do this, and
yes.
I always tried, and somehow I'm able
yes.
to do it.
Yeah.
So I always felt for them that why do you believe that you can do it, you should go out, do it, at least try it out, you know. And now I wouldn't even say there are language barriers in Belgium. There are jobs even in English.
Yes,
we can work in English
yes.
also, and we are able to find the jobs in English.
Yeah.
So that is, you know, that is so important for me. And
but it's easier to say it doesn't work. They don't like me, so I give up.
Yeah, it's very easy.
That's the easy way.
Yeah.
And saying what you are saying, I don't give up. I will achieve. However it takes, I will get there. You know, it's a challenge, and you need people surrounding you who will support you to achieve that
That's
goal.
the most important thing.
That's the most important thing.
Most important thing, that you need to have people around you who think like you and who are ready to support you and
it will give you the chance to prove yourself.
Just like you.
Just like me, and it makes me remind of the words of, you know him, Eliud Kipchoge? He runs marathons.
Yes. Yes.
And he said something very, very beautiful, I think. No human is limited.
Yeah.
And that's the way we should live our lives, believing that everything is possible. So you can reach whatever you want. And even if you don't reach it, then I think the road to that goal is very important also.
Yes, 100%.
So you have to make out of your life what you think you can make out of it, and
you should be confident enough.
You should be confident enough, but you have to live. You know, we have one life. We have to live it now, and with no regrets. Because if I'm looking back at my life, I have no regrets, and I think that's important because.
So good to hear that. You know, when you say I have no regrets what I've done, it's so good to hear that because.
And I've made lots of faults. Don't.
No, because from India, like the country that we are coming from, women from India, like females from India, they are doing so many things without their own intent, like you know, own will. But when I see someone like you, when you say there is no regret today, so then I have some, you know, like. I can learn that, okay, you know, that's very something which I would always love to hear, that there's no regret what I've done.
Because no regrets, they don't work.
Yeah.
They don't work. It's a song of Robbie Williams, by the way. But he's right. It doesn't work to regret things. So just do it, and you can make mistakes. That doesn't change who you are. It makes you, I think, better and a whole person. Yes.
Yes. So when you're talking so much about, you know, that the sayings from different people, I assume that you read books, or maybe you follow someone very closely.
I don't have much time to read books.
Okay.
I love to read, but I've been vice mayor since 2019, and I didn't read a lot of books. I have to make time for it, but then I have to go on holiday, because if I don't, then I will not read. And it's a pity, because you learn a lot of things by reading.
Speak so much
by reading books.
That the sayings from different people.
But I meet so much people.
Yes.
I'm so lucky to meet every day so many people, so different people, and different views of how life should be. So it's, for me, I'm very blessed.
Yeah, so you read so many people.
Yes, yes.
That's so good.
Youngsters and elder people and everything. In a city as Antwerp, we have more than 180 different nationalities.
I know. yeah.
So it's kind of a world city, you know.
It is. Because when I came to Antwerp, like even I was surprised. Oh my God, I've never seen such things.
Such diversity,
in India.
yes.
And so many people, different culture, different people, different languages.
Yep. Yes.
But I was very happy to see that, and I'm very curious for everything. So
I think that's good to be curious, because
So-
that means you're interested in other people,
yeah,
and I think that's necessary to achieve what you want to achieve in life.
yeah, 100%.
Huh.
So you did your education as a criminologist.
Yes,
You were
I'm a criminologist. Yes.
How did it go? Like, because even criminologist is something which is very strong job, and you meet strong people. So, just same question, like as a woman, like difficult, or how did it go?
I studied criminology in Leuven. It's
Yeah.
one of the bigger student cities in Belgium. When I was, I think, I was 19 years old when I began to study. Then I quit for a year because I wanted to go back to India on my journey, because I had a lot of questions and I lost somehow my identity, and I was convinced I could not be happy in Belgium because my roots were in India. So that was an internal struggle I had, and my dad was very wise, and he told me, you want to go to India, then you go to India, no problem at all. So he took me to my aunt, and it was, I wanted to stay there for a whole year, and I stayed for a month, and then I came back and I went back to university.
Okay.
Because I realized in India that my life was in Belgium. And that I shouldn't be ashamed of that, because I was between two worlds, and I thought by choosing to be happy in Belgium, the life I had led for almost 13 years, that I criticized my mother, that I didn't love India, and so that wasn't true for me. So I came to India to realize it doesn't mean that you're happy in Belgium, that you cannot love your mother and your family in India. So it took me 1 month, and then I came back, and since then I have peace. I am an Indian, but most of all I'm Belgian, and it's not something to be ashamed of.
When you say that, it's a very positive thing.
Yeah.
It's like, as an Indian, I would see and I would be proud of you that you are an Indian and doing as a Belgian so great. So that is something which we all should feel proud of.
Yes, and you know what makes me sad is that you understand, but the people in Belgium, how many times I have to hear that I'm one of them, what means they don't see who I am, it hurts me. Because my mother was Indian, and I'm proud she was Indian, and I'm very proud that I'm looking like an Indian. So when you tell me, I don't see the color, you're just the same as me, it's really hurtful. It's really, really hurtful. And people don't realize that, because they take away one part of me that I don't want to give.
Of course.
Because my mother was my world, and it's not because I don't live in India and I don't look at Indian movies and I don't speak the language, that the love for India is less than I was when I was little. So you understand, and most of the Indian community, they understand what the most of the Belgian community don't. And then they don't mean it in a bad way,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But still, it's judgmental and it's difficult. Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But I'm telling you stuff I never tell to no. So
Maybe we should. But I think then that's the time, that's the period that keep you like, you know, now this is the time, and now I have to do this.
yes,
Now I'm like, you know, you are here. and this is what it is, and now I have to do this.
And I chose to become a criminologist because I dreamt all of my life to become a police officer. And that's because I lost my mother in a specific way, you know. She didn't just die, she was murdered. So my quest is one for justice, and in a certain way to give me some peace, because of the way she was taken away from me is unacceptable. And nobody was punished, you know. Nobody, it's not about punishing, nobody, how do we say it in English? There was no accountability for what happened to her. And that hurts also, because they got away with it. They don't need to go to prison for me, that's not what I'm asking, but it would be nice if they could admit they did something that destroyed not only my life, but lives of a lot of people. My dad, my grandmother, my family, my friends, yes.
And you being such a small girl and seeing everything, it's, you know, like I can see that it's in your mind, it's there in your mind.
It's always there.
It's always, it will be always there.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that took you to criminologist.
Yes.
100%. And it's also like very good, you know, like when you say this, I have seen people going to complete negative side, taking one incident, but you took this incident and you completely moved to the positive side. And you are today, when you say all this, I'm proud of myself, I don't have any regrets. So you took your positive side. There are people who goes completely negative also. But it's a struggle, you know, because it sounds easy, but it's not.
It doesn't. It's an everyday struggle, and it's not that I'm better than anyone else, but I think I had the chance to meet people who helped me, and I had the opportunities on the road that I'm moving on, and not everybody.
I'm sure not everyone has the opportunities.
No,
but I would say that also, that you must have created opportunities also, like working hard.
You have to do that.
Certain things, and you know, you work hard towards your goal, you know what to do. And then it's not just that it comes when we say it's just lucky or the opportunities come. No, I can see that you must have created a lot of things. That is also a challenge.
Yes.
That is also a hurdle. You know, it's just that, for example, I'm coming to you. It's not like anyone can come and talk to you like this. It is something, an opportunity, and it is, like you said, it's us. I'm sure you must have also done like many such struggles, that to create certain opportunity and then to go further by working hard. But I'm just curious to know that you studied as a criminologist, and then you worked.
Then I became a police officer, because I studied 2 more years at the National School of the Gendarmerie, we call it, years ago. And then I became a police officer for almost 16 years. And then I became a politician almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Yes. And I never would have thought I would go into politics.
Yeah?
No, I would never have thought that. But when I was a police officer, I had to fight battles I could not win, because I was not strong enough. And I didn't have people who supported me, and I couldn't realize the changes I wanted to realize. And that moment, someone asked me, what do you think to become the front runner of our political party in Antwerp? And I think it was the right time, at the right moment, because I thought, if I'm going to stay police officer, I cannot make anything change. So what am I doing?
Yeah.
And maybe if I can go into politics, then I can weigh again, then I can make sure that people will see things differently. And that's the reason why I did it. And I think it's a total different path from what I had in mind But you know, all my life
You had.
is not what I thought it would have been when I was 6 years old. So,
Sure.
but that's why I told you earlier on, no regrets, they don't work. You have to move forward and not look always back.
100%. 100%. So, like, as now I know, like, the most of your story, but that, would you like to say something very important to all the women, like in one sentence, or maybe just like a key? I always say a key.
A key. That's a difficult question, but if I have to say something in one sentence, then I will tell all the women and girls in the world, men of quality respect women's equality.
Okay. Elaborate that, please.
It means that the struggle we have to fight is something, one, you have to believe in yourself. We need men to do that together, because I don't believe in a world of only female. We need each other.
Of course.
And the most of the men I met in my life, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, were very respectful and helped to realize that equality we need. I don't think men and women are the same, and they don't have to be the same. We are different, and that's okay.
Yeah, same here.
I'm proud to be a woman. I'm proud for me to be who I am this day. I don't want to be a man at all.
Of course. Yeah.
But I respect that men are men, and I respect the fact that some human beings don't know which identity they have.
Yeah.
But in the end, we need each other.
100%.
And if we want to be what all those men are today in 2022, then we will need those men to achieve that.
That's a very good saying. Like I have this discussion with some of my friends that most of the women are saying women empowerment, we are equal, this. But we discuss that, why are they even doing this? Why are they begging that please give us the importance? We are important. Okay, men are important at their level. We are important at our level. And it's fine if we are not equal. It's okay.
No, it's about equality, not about being equal.
Exactly.
It's about equality. It's about being who we are inside.
Exactly.
And I think that on that domain we are the same.
Exactly.
That men and women internally are not the same, you know, because there's a difference. But we are also important, and they need us to make the picture whole.
100%. We are important. Sometimes we are more important.
Because we can, how do we say it, have children, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Men
That's
cannot.
the point. That's the one point, that we are more important.
Still now, I don't know in 100 years, but now at this moment, they need us to have their children. So.
100%. I wouldn't deny this point. Okay, so I will not take much of your time, but only one thing I want to know, 2 points, that you see today there is a big positive change for women, which was not there before, like you can say 10 years or something, and you want to see one big change in future for women, which is positive.
I think it's a good something that men can also have a maternity leave, you know, when a woman is pregnant and she has a child and she can stay at home. I think it's nice, it's good that for the last 10 years maybe, I don't know exactly, that also men can stay at home, because it means you can do the raising of your child together. And it means that it's not always the woman who has to stay at home and take care of the baby, but the man can do that also.
Yeah.
Because I am today who I am because of my husband. He's the one who's taking care of my son, of our son. So if he wasn't there, I couldn't do this. I think it's very important that we changed
Yeah.
that aspect of our life. And what I wish to become is that women shouldn't have to struggle so hard and to prove themselves, you know. It's not fair that because I'm a woman and I'm a colored woman, that everything I do and say is not taken for granted. And if a male colleague, when I was a police officer and I was leading a team and we were going on an action in the streets, and I was saying something, they didn't listen. If my male colleague said exactly the same thing, then there was no hesitation to follow him.
This is what, you know.
I wish that could change.
Okay. So you face this thing that.
Yes.
It was a problem, little bit.
It's about credibility, and I'm wondering, why am I not that credible for you? Exactly. Because of the fact that I'm a woman.
Exactly.
And my male colleague is you take his words for granted and not mine. Why? Why is that? Why should it be not right because I'm telling it, and it is right because another male colleague is telling it? Yes. That's so unfair.
I know.
And totally not based on something real, you know. So I hope that that will change in our minds.
All right. So that's a good thing. And I would say one last question. But what do you say about politics? Like a woman in politics, is it easy to raise your voice? You are speaking something. Is it easy for you to raise that particular topic or a subject, or is it difficult for you to?
No, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it was not easy for me when I was a child. It was not easy for me when I was a student. It was not easy for me when I was a police officer, and it's not easy for me when I'm now a politician. And it's not easy because I have to prove myself again and again and again. And every time I'm thinking, I've proven myself, they know it now what I can, what my capabilities are, I have to do it all over again.
Yeah.
And that's tiring, you know. That's not changing. And that's making me wonder often lately, why am I doing this? Because I don't see change. And then I remember why I'm doing this, because I want to see the change. So I will have to be patient, and I will have to fight and go on. And I think politics, it's difficult for me, more difficult for me than for my male colleague. I don't know why.
Okay.
I wonder why. So I think society is not ready to accept equality between men and women. Because if they were, then they didn't have to I can't find the word. I didn't have to not believe me, you know.
Accept you.
I have the same facts. I have the same than my male colleague, and still I had to fight for 3 years now. I'm vice mayor to have some approval.
Yeah.
Why does it take me 3 years? Why do they ask me questions as how are you going to cope your private life with your professional life? Why don't they ask that question to my male colleague? Why?
Exactly.
I'm wondering why. And that would be nice if that changed in the future.
I'm so happy, or I can say impressed or happy and positive after listening to everything that you have said. You know, I would say that being a woman, it is not easy anywhere, anything in this world, any job or anything. But trust me, what you are doing, what you said last right now, that you are doing this to see the change in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
You know, that's the word, like, okay, fine, when we also feel sometimes that why am I doing this? But I'm doing this to see the change in the future. I mean, that's something which is, you know, which is something that will hold you on to do the same thing.
And it's not easy because if you are strong and you stood your ground, you are, yes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you're a bitch. And if you're not, then you're weak. So either way, I can never be doing the good thing. And that's not easy. You have to make up your mind. What do you want me to be? Strong or weak?
Exactly.
And why can't I be both? Strong and weak.
Exactly. That's true too.
So I think it's a struggle of the entire society.
I'm sure. And when you said this thing last, I know. Like, I faced my problems in my, maybe it's not that big or something, but we all face same kind of problems. Like when you don't speak much, or when you're silent or quiet, people think you are arrogant. And when you when you speak so much, oh, she's not, So it's,
yes.
And I mean, we can see that we all face such problems and we all fight with our things.
But I think we have to respect our differences
100%,
and not make such an issue about it, and be proud of being a man or a woman.
Yeah.
But to see men and women as not equal, but that equality is very important.
Yeah.
And that's not so easy.
Yeah, agreed.
And we cannot do it alone. So I don't like to be called a feminist, because I'm not. I need my husband to be there and to take care of our child, because otherwise I cannot be a good vice mayor of education and youth. And we need each other to make everything whole.
Yeah.
Yes. So instead of fighting against each other, we should fight together the struggle, and it will make everything much easier, I think.
So good.
And I think it's possible. It's really possible to do that.
It is, I'm sure it is. And we, like you said, you are working for that change in the future. So when we have people like you, a leader like you, to work for us, we can see that, okay, fine, I have hope. Okay, there will be a change in the future. And today, after talking to you, I am so okay, fine, I'm very positive. I get that in my mind, that what is the clear, when you say that, no, we are, man is man, woman is woman. So I'm so glad to see someone who has a thinking which even I think about, and I'm very happy to see that. So today you gave me very positive, all positive stuff, just like you said, but very positive stuff. And I'm like, okay, just the last thing, just one closing statement from you.
Well, I'm thinking
for everyone, not just
women.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the words of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
He said something about change. If you want to be the change,
you be the change.
You be the
change. If you want to see the change
in the world, you have to be the change. I think that's very important. You have to start to make the change, and not to wait till someone else wants to make the change for you. So if we have to end now, then we have to end with the words of the Mahatma. Yes.
I'm so glad to hear that. So I would say thank you for 1,000 times.
Thank you. You made me cry. So
no, I'm so glad to hear everything, like your whole story, because I was always curious. When I met you 2 times, I was really curious, because being an Indian and coming here and to be this, it was something really like, how, when, how can it happen, how do you do it? So it was all that curiosity in my mind, and I was like, okay, fine, this is the right moment. And if you say yes, then this is the right time. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
I will again hope to see you soon.
Me too.
And to share some more things, what you do and what you're doing for Antwerp.
Yes, we will do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.